Hello everyone, welcome to yet another wonderful session at BYJU'S Champions. How are all of you doing today? Because I am super excited to be back with all of you. Hi Hari, good evening. I am amazing. Hi Deepa, hi Pramugda, hi Advika, hi Shweta, hi Shruti, hi Shrishti. Yes, hi Anita, hi Akash, hi Advika. Yes, hi Defina. Hello. Hi Anita. Hi Annie. Good afternoon. Yes. Hi Santosh. Yes. Oh, I do remember that Shruti there, right? All right. Okay. Hi Shaurya. Hi Tanishka. Hi Ankita. Yes. Hi Ayushi. Hi Mukesh. Yes, all right. Yes, of course, Ayushi. I do remember you. As a matter of fact, I remember all of you here. Hi, Kritika. Hello. I am amazing. How are all of you feeling today? Right? It's a new month. We're in June. And how are all of you feeling today? How are you feeling about June, right? Because soon, your classes are going to start, right? How are all of you? Yes, thank you, Shruti, for telling me that I'm perfectly audible and visible. Yes, all right, you're feeling good. That's amazing. Yes. Hi, Shalini. Hello. Right, okay. My day was amazing, Shrishti. I had a very good day, and it's only going to get better because I'm with all of you today, right? Yes, you're happy and super excited. That is amazing. Yes. Hi, Dibyanshi. Yes, all right. Okay, I know that all of you have told me that I'm perfectly audible and visible. I hope that you can see what I am writing in my screen as well. Right, I hope my screen is visible as well. Right, okay. All right. Yes, Hari, I will be telling you the homework answers very quickly in the chat. Let me know if my screen is visible. Make sure that you have a stream of emojis going, right? Yes, show me that excitement in your chat. Hi Anik, welcome. Hi Kushali. Hi Shweta. Hi Shalini. Yes, super duper excited. Even I am feeling excited. Today is very hot. Yes, it is pretty hot, right? Okay, all right. Okay, now that my screen is visible, and of course, we have all, we're all excited for today's session. We know that our class today is going to be on a very small topic, but actually, it's a very important topic, and that is why is nitrogen important? Because let me tell you, in your school days right now, right, in your 7th grade, you get exposed to this particular topic a little bit. Then you go to your 8th grade and they tell you a little bit about it. Similarly, in 9th, they tell you a little bit about it. But the thing is, when you go to your higher grades, right, like say 11th standard and 12th standard, you get to know so much about it at one go that at one go it may seem a little scary for you. Which is why at this point itself, I want to make sure that nothing is scary for you, right? So I want to make sure that everything is easy, and that is why we will lay out our foundation and understand why nitrogen is important. Yes, all right. So, of course, I see there are a lot of students who are new to the class, and I request all of you to be part of our Telegram channel, because you know that in our Telegram channel, we give you revision questions, session notes and PDFs, right? We also talk about session updates, homework questions, and so much more. So, in case if you still haven't joined the Telegram channel, make sure that you do, or you can request for your parents to join on your behalf. Yes, and I can also see a lot of you are requesting me for the homework answer. Yes, it was a HOTS question, right? So this right here, what you see. Can we make me a little smaller so that they can see the question? Yes, all right. So now I'm sure that you can see the question clearly, where a goat eats away all the leaves of a small plant such as balsam. However, in a few days, new leaves could be seen sprouting in the plant again. How did the plant survive without leaves, right? So in this case, this right here at one go seems like a very confusing question, but trust me, it is very easy. All right, Shruti says she has just answered now. In case you've answered in the comment section, I will be reading it out, right? So, of course, in this particular question, if you see, we know that leaves are the food factories of the plant that produce the food. And we know that food is stored in the form of starch. Now, it's not that starch is stored just in the leaves, right? It can be stored in other parts of the plant like the stem and the roots. Which is why even if the goats have eaten away all the leaves, food is still available for growth, development, and various other activities. Which is why in this case we see that it is able to survive because food is stored in the other parts. Yes, yes, very good. Food is stored in roots and stem. That's why it is able to survive. No, Nidhi, you are not late for the class. We just got started with the class. Yes, very good, Shalini. They use start. Very good, Defina. Very good. Now, I know that a lot of you are, you have answered and you have posted in the chat, but very sad news that I have, and trust me, I'm feeling very bad about this. Due to some technical glitches on the platform, some of the comments are no longer available. So I can see Anik, I see that, Kid Learning Mantra have all answered, and I can see that a lot of you had answered earlier, but currently those comments are not available. So I am very sorry about that. But I do remember all of you who have answered, and in case if you want to go back and post the comment, you can do that as well. No, Disha, you are not late for the class. We just got answered. Yes? Or we just got started. Sorry about that. So, of course, very quickly from the comments which are there right now, right? There are very few comments, but of course, we have Renu, Defina, Lakshmi, and Anita's comments who are only there right now in the video. Yes, but I do remember that a lot of you who are here right now, you have answered as well. So, well done all of you for giving the answer to this question. Yes, Shweta, I do remember you and welcome to the class. Not a problem, Rakesh. We are just getting started. Yes, Asmita, I think I have missed your question. So please, can you post your question once again? Yes? All right. Okay. Okay. Amazing. So now, as you can see, we have all, gone through the important concepts of photosynthesis, autotrophic mode of nutrition, and heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So in our class today, what we will be studying about is, of course, what are nutrients and how these nutrients are helpful for plants. Yes, what is the importance of nitrogen? What is this nitrogen deficiency and how we can provide nitrogen for the plants? Yes. All right, welcome Shrishti for your first class with me. I'm Aishwarya. We are doing an important topic from nutrition in plants. Yes, and that is why is nitrogen necessary? Yes, hi Siddhi. All right, okay. So are we clear with what we are going to be doing in today's class? Very quickly in the chat box, let me know. Are we clear and are we excited? Yes, amazing Shweta, you're letting me know that you're super excited. That is wonderful. All right, okay. Yes, amazing. I can see the excitement, and that of course always keeps me going, right? Okay, so now we're going to start with a very simple observation, which means I have two situations for you. And can we get me in the center? All right, amazing. So here we have two situations with us, right? So I'm going to mark this as situation number 1, okay? And this right here is going to be situation number 2. Now, what are we seeing here in situation number 1? What are we observing? Can you tell me? Very quickly in the chat box, I want you to tell me what is happening here in this image that you see right here. Right, okay. Keep the excitement going. Keep the excitement going and let me know. Yes, very good, Daksh. Eating food. Eating paneer tikka. Very good, Dibyanshi. Yes, a lady is eating. Hi Ishanvi, welcome. Human consuming food, human eating food products. We are observing that a girl is eating. Yes, very good. Right? So food consumption, very good, very good. I can see that a lot of you are answering correctly. So here we see that there is a girl who is eating, and like how Dibyanshi mentioned, she is eating paneer tikka. And what we need to focus on is that she is eating a certain food item that has many different things, right? So that's not just paneer there. We also observe some vegetables as well, right? Do you guys also see vegetables in her paneer tikka or in her yum plate of food? Yes, woman eating food, right? Eating tadka, okay. Right, food is cooked. Very good, Santosh. A very interesting observation. Food is being cooked here. Right. Very good. She's eating food that is produced by the plants. Very good, Tanishka. Very interesting thing, right? Tomato, vegetables, yes. Very yum food, right? So basically, if you see, she's eating cooked food and she is eating different kinds of it. There's paneer, there's capsicum, like some of you are telling me. There's tomato. It's very hot as well, right? So we observe all of this. But What about in situation number 2? What do we know about plants and when it comes to plants making food, right? We have never seen plants eating food like this. But we have always studied that plants prepare their own food, right? And what is the food that plants will prepare? Very quickly in the chat box. I know you know the answer, right? So Shweta, in case if my voice is getting lower, please just refresh your page. It will get better. Yes, plant has leaves, flowers, right? Very good. Raw food hanging. Very interesting, Ayushi. Yes. Very good, Shruti. Very good. Sugar, right? Or you can also say glucose, right? And of course, like most of you are telling me, glucose that is stored in the form of starch, right? Now, one stark difference exists between the two. One is preparing its own food, while the other is eating food from other sources which could be plant or animal based. And if you look at the food that she is eating, no, it has various nutrients, right? And we have learnt about these nutrients at many times. So I think we can bring me back. Right, yes. So of course we've learnt about these nutrients and we dealt it in detail in our bridge sessions as well, where we looked at how there are various components in the food that we eat, right? So we have carbohydrates, proteins and fats. And we know that this is something that we require in large quantities in our body, which is why we call them as macronutrients. So what do we mean by macro? Macro means we need more. Yes? So we need it in more amounts, which is why we call them as macronutrients. And that is carbohydrates, proteins and fats. Are we clear with this? Is this easy for all of you? If any doubts are there, please let me know. Yes? Very good. Autotrophs and heterotrophs. Wonderful observation, all of you. Yes, very good. Nutrients are carbohydrates, proteins and fats. Very good, Arshia. Very good. Yes, all right. Okay, so we are clear with what do we mean by macronutrients. Yes. Now, of course, we know some of you told me we have important nutrients like vitamins and minerals. Yes. All right. So in this case, when we talk about vitamins and minerals, we require them only in small quantities, right? And we see that normally in the case of vitamins and minerals, we see that vitamins and minerals are primarily found in fruits and vegetables. Right? So I'm going to quickly write it down. Don't focus on what is written here. I'm scratching that out. They're primarily found in fruits and vegetables. Yes, and because we require them in small quantities, we call them as micronutrients. Yes, right. Okay. Everything plant eats as carbohydrates or any form of it, but what we eat does not have to be carbohydrates. Very good. It could be proteins, fats. It's not just proteins and fats. We actually need all 5 of it, right? All 5 nutrients, we require it. Yes. Very good, Shrishti. They come under micronutrients, right? Nitrogen is a micronutrient. Well, Anya, we will be learning about that. Whether nitrogen is actually a micronutrient or no. Yes, very good, Pramukda. Micronutrients are vitamins and minerals. Yes, very good. Micro means less. Yes, I'm going to write that down. Very good. Who told me this? Very good, Pooja. Micro means less. Macro means more. Right? So are we clear with the macronutrients and the micronutrients that are there in our food? Are we clear with this? I want to take this step by step so that at the end of it, you are like, ma'am, this chapter is super easy. Yes? Okay, all right. Yes, Shweta, very good, very good. Yes, all right. So now we are clear with what is macro and micronutrients that are part of our diet. Yes, but what about these plants, right? What kind of food do they make? Now, one thing you have already told me is that glucose is what they prepare, and we know that glucose is a kind of carbohydrate, right? So let me just write that down once again. It is a type of carbohydrate, which means that glucose here consists of carbon, it has hydrogen, right? And it also has oxygen. Yes? So we see that these 3 molecules will come together and make up glucose, right? Or we say CHO. So we know that these 3 elements are there, right? But what about others? We learned about proteins, vitamins, minerals, fats and all of that when we were learning about the kind of food that we eat. Do you think plants require proteins? Yes, what do you think about it? Do plants need proteins and vitamins? Are they even needed for the plants? Because plants can make their own food, right? They're very, cool that way that they can make their own food. Yes? Lazy lady, plant hardworking. Well, all right, Shruti. We could say that, but let's not say that. Yes? Yes, okay. Plants, do they need it? I can see a lot of yes coming in, right? Yes, okay. So we know that plants also require proteins and vitamins and everything, right? Pramukta also says, yeah, I think so. Because at the end of the day, we know that proteins are body building components, right? Whether it's the body of the plant or whether it's the body of the human or whether it's the body of any other organism, body building components are required, yes? So now our question comes as to, if plants need all these things, how are they getting it? Yes, and what kind of nutrients or elements are important, right? That is important to understand. So broadly, we know that carbon, hydrogen and oxygen are necessary. But apart from that, we see that nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium are all essential. Yes, are there any other nutrients that the plants need? Yes, Shweta, they need it, and this is what you see, right? So we have nitrogen, which we will deal in detail today, but we also have phosphorus and potassium, which are required for the plants, right? And apart from this, we also have some other plant nutrients such as calcium, magnesium and sulfur, and they all require it in good amount. But apart from this, we also see that there are some elements which are required in very little amount, or trace elements. So we have zinc, iron, copper, boron and molybdenum. Right? So you don't need to know in detail about what boron does or what iron does. This is a little beyond your scope right now, but it is good to know their names, right? Just know their names, and this is something that they require in trace amounts. Yes, and it also requires something else that is not there, which is manganese. Oops, let me write that neatly. It requires manganese. Right, so very quickly, can I go back and I will show you all once again, right? So, of course, the important nutrients that are there are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Then we need nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Then other plant nutrients are calcium, magnesium and sulfur, which are needed in larger quantities. But when we say trace elements, that means they are required only in little amounts, such as zinc, iron, copper, boron and molybdenum. Yes. All right, so Shrishti, you're asking me a very interesting question. Are they also nutrients? So, in a broad sense, right, I will say very, in common, if we have to talk in a common man's language, we can say nutrients, right? And I'm trying to simplify this for you, but honestly, we will not say nutrients, but rather we will call it as some elements, right? Yes, all right. That's amazing, Shruti. You're saying that you've already studied this from Vinay, sir. That's interesting. Yes, so many chemicals. I know, right? So many chemicals are there. But don't worry. You just need to know names of some of it, right? Okay, Nandini is asking me what is the difference between glucose and starch. So glucose is a simple molecule, right? It's a very simple carbohydrate. But when many such glucose will come together, it will form a complex molecule known as starch. Yes? All right. Are we clear with this? Anukriti, what is the difference between micro and macro? Micronutrients are those nutrients which are required in small amounts, while macronutrients are those nutrients which are required in larger amounts. So are we clear with what is micro and macro? Why iron is needed in tiny amounts? Very interesting question, Shweta. So the thing is, in our body also, right, we always have a balance, right? And we see that sometimes iron being, kind of metal that it is, right? And iron being the kind of element that it is, if there is too much of iron also, it can harm the plant, right? So too much of anything could also be bad, which is why I think it is important to maintain balance, right? It's important to always have balance. Can you please show the micronutrients? So Sashmita, what you see on your screen are the trace elements. So we will not say micronutrients, but we will use the term trace elements required for the plants. And you can write this down. These are all that we require. Are we clear with this? So far, whatever we have learned, I am going very slowly because it's important that you understand what I'm trying to tell you. Yes? Okay, very quickly in the chat box, can you tell me and give me a thumbs up? Yes? Okay, very good, very good. Carbohydrate, proteins and fats are synthesized or produced by the plants. Yes, very good. Crystal clear. Amazing. Yes, Asmita, tell me your doubt. Very quickly, you can tell me your doubt. Okay, all right. Yes, too much is too bad. Too little is also bad, right? We need the right amount. That goes for us. It goes for the plants as well. What is boron and molybdenum? Now, boron and molybdenum are nothing but they are just some chemical elements which are there or present in the soil. You don't need to know too much about this because you will learn about it later anyway. Are we clear with this, Bilma? Have I cleared your doubt about what is boron and molybdenum? Yes? Okay, all right. So now that most of you have understood what are the important elements, very quickly can you tell me? Dash is a trace element required by plants. Carbon, hydrogen, zinc or nitrogen. Very quickly in the chat box, can you tell me? Right? Yes, Asmita, in the previous slide, what I showed you could be considered as micronutrients or what I will tell you as trace elements. Yes? Very quickly, can you tell me? Amazing. I'm talking about trace element. That means we need it only in little amounts, right? Trace means very little. Yes. What do we require in little amount? Do we require nitrogen in little amount or will we take zinc in little amount? Yes, very good. So here I can see a slight bit of confusion, but those of you who answered zinc are correct. So zinc here is an example of a trace element. While carbon, hydrogen and nitrogen are required in large amounts actually for the plant so that they can synthesize the respective components. Very good, Shreyasi, very good. So with this, we've understood all the elements that are there. But very quick question. How is the plant going to get all these elements? I showed you so many elements, right? How is the plant going to get all this? Any guess, right? Shweta, I think I have missed your other question. So very quickly, can you send it to me once again? I think I have missed that out. But I have a quick question for all of you. Where is the plant going to get all this from? Yes, Anita, you are in the right direction. Roots. But where is the roots going to get it from? Very good, Shruti. Very good, Shreyasi. Yes, from the soil. Right, that is the correct answer. I can see a lot of interesting ones coming, but the correct answer is soil, right? So in the soil, we know that some important components are there and that's how they absorb, which is why we always say that roots absorb water and minerals, right? And some of these minerals are essential for the plant. Mineral nutrients come from the soil. Very good, Shweta. Yes, very good. In the soluble form. But nitrogen has a slightly different story, which is why we will explore nitrogen in great detail. But then again, we should think about it. No, ma'am, why? So many are there. You are telling me only about nitrogen. So what is so special about nitrogen? Now, the thing is, nitrogen is an essential component of proteins, right? We know that something known as amino acids are there. Now, tell me if this is getting complicated for you. I will make it easy, okay? So, tell me at any point if this is becoming very complicated. Now, we know that amino acids are what come together. So, they're like building blocks, right? Many amino acids will come together and they will form proteins. And proteins are essential for any and every activity. A lot of activities that happen inside our body and even in the plant's body, it requires proteins, right? So, in this case, we know that proteins, an important component of amino acids in itself is nitrogen, which is why it is essential for the plants. Apart from that, in DNA, that is the genetic material of the plants also, we see that nitrogen is an important component, so we need to provide them. So, see, the amino acids are nothing but some building blocks that come together and make up proteins. Okay, very simple and easy. And then, of course, we know that various vitamins that are synthesized or produced within the plants require nitrogen and chlorophyll. I saw this answer coming in much earlier in the session, but chlorophyll, that is so important for photosynthesis to happen itself, requires nitrogen. As a matter of fact, if you have to look at the structure of chlorophyll, no, it's a very complicated chemical structure. But right there in the center of it, you will find 4 very important nitrogen molecules which are present, which is why we know that whether it needs to do photosynthesis, it will require nitrogen. Okay, can you quickly explain amino acids once again? Very simple. Amino acids are like the bricks that make your house, right? You know that if you want to build your house, you need bricks. And when you arrange the bricks in different ways and, in different manner, you will be able to build your house. Which is why amino acids are said to be the building blocks of proteins. So are we clear with why nitrogen is important? Yes, are we clear? Very good. Green color of plants is due to chlorophyll. Very good. Yes, very good, Anukriti. Very good. Yes, simple form of protein is amino acids. Not a problem, Sneha. Not a problem at all. Yes? All right. Okay. So if we are clear with this, we will move to the next part. Easy peasy, pizza cheesy. That's interesting, Siddhi. All right. Amino acid is like glucose. I will say in a way, but you should not say that they are the same, okay? Never ever say that amino acid and glucose are the same. Yes, that's going to be a little confusing. Okay, now I have a quick thing for you. I want you to observe and tell me what you see on the screen. It's a very simple thing that we are dealing with. What are you able to see on the screen? Very quickly, can you tell me? Yes, very good, Shreyasi. DNA is in the nucleus. Yes. Okay, extremely clear. That's wonderful, Pramukda. Okay, Shweta says chlorophyll. You're saying leaf. Yes, you're able to see a leaf. But what do you observe in the leaf, right? What is there in the leaf? Something about the color, maybe its structure. I'm just dropping some hints for you. Compound leaf. Very good, Nidhi. Very good. Chlorophyll in a leaf. Very good, Anik. Some yellowish thing is there. Yes, Pramukda's on to something. Yeah, some yellowish thing is there. Yes, non-green. Very good, Sneha. Very good. Chlorophyll. Very good. Yes, I can see a lot of people coming with the right answer. There is some dark green in between. Yellow color is there. Variegated leaf. Very good, Nidhi. Yes. Very good. Right. So here, as you can see, like a lot of you have told me, the leaves are normally supposed to be green in color. But right now, we are observing some yellowish patterns on the leaf. Now, normally, when we observe this yellowish pattern, it is because of nitrogen deficiency. Now, what do we mean by nitrogen deficiency? So, before I tell you what is nitrogen deficiency, I'll give you a rather simpler form, right? And you would have learnt about this deficiency disease in your 6th grade. So, this is not going to be something new, right? So, here if you see, sometimes if a plant is not getting a certain component or a certain element for a long period of time, not that today the plant didn't get nitrogen, so the plant is like, oh, you didn't give me nitrogen, so I am not going to make chlorophyll. No, plant is not like that. It's just that in case if the nitrogen is not available for a prolonged period of time, it leads to nutrient deficiency, what we call in this case as nitrogen deficiency. And the yellowing of the leaves is an indication that the plant is not getting enough nitrogen. Very good. It interferes with the synthesis of chlorophyll. Very good, Pooja. Very good. Yes, Anukriti, starch test. We can do that as well, right? Yes, non-uniform presence of chlorophyll, right? Very good. Very good. So now if you see, we understand that this is what we understand as nitrogen deficiency. Apart from this, we see that if the plant is having weak shoots, right, and we see that there is stunted growth. Now when I say stunted growth, it means that if the plant is supposed to be this tall, right, when it's not getting enough nitrogen, it will only be this tall, right? It's not growing tall enough or as much as it needs to grow and develop, right? Yes, so lack of nutrients. Very good, very good. So this is what we understand as nitrogen deficiency. And why yellowing in leaf happens when nitrogen is less? Because I told you, right? Chlorophyll is required to produce or synthesize chlorophyll. Nitrogen is essential. And if there's not enough nitrogen, eventually what will happen is that the yellowing will occur where the chlorophyll molecules or the existing molecules will get destroyed or they may not exist, right? Which is why in order to ensure that, you know, it is remaining green and healthy, right? It is important that nitrogen is provided. Are we clear with this? Yes? Very good, Sasmita. Absence of chlorophyll. Yes, all right. So now some of the factors that causes or why nitrogen deficiency takes place in the first place is because of many reasons. Yes. So sometimes what happens is that because, you know, in the same soil we are growing many plants over and over again, we see that sometimes the nutrients will get depleted. Now depletion, don't get worried. I know it sounds like a very fancy word. Depletion is nothing but it becomes less. So the nutrients will become less in the soil, which is why the plants will start getting affected. Or sometimes what will happen, no? Sometimes, you know, maybe using too many chemicals and, you know, something which is not natural and a lot of artificial things in the soil can also damage the soil. And thereby the roots will not be able to take up nitrogen or the important nutrients. And very interesting thing that I read about is that if your soil has too much of manganese, potassium or zinc, what we learned as important components, right? If there is too much of it in the soil, it will not allow the roots to take up nitrogen. Yes, so that is what is important. Is it possible that a different pigment in leaves that can perform photosynthesis? Now the thing is, you see chlorophyll, right? And actually I'll tell you something. Chlorophyll is the only pigment, and there are various kinds of chlorophyll also, but chlorophyll in general, the green color that imparts the green color, only that has the ability to trap the light energy. And if you cannot trap light energy, do you think photosynthesis will happen? No, right? Which is why it is important to understand that this chlorophyll is essential. I hope I've answered your question, Anukriti, right? So these are some of the reasons, right? Like I told you, if too much of manganese, potassium and zinc are present in the soil, then it will interfere with the absorption of nitrogen. And lastly, if everything in the soil is still okay, but the roots are not working properly, then do you think it's going to happen? No, right? It will not still be able to absorb it. Which is why, what can we do to make sure that plants are able to absorb or take up the nitrogen? Now, very quickly, in symbiotic association, we had learnt about something. Yes, I can already see kids learning mantra giving me the answer. Yes, in symbiotic association, we learnt about an example. What was the example we learnt about? Very quickly in the chat box, I want the answer, right? Please explain the first point once again. Okay, Shrishti, can I do this towards the end? If after I wrap this up, I will explain it once towards the end. Just let me know once again. Yes, all right. Yes, very good, Jafina. Very good, Akash. Symbiosis, rhizobium, right? Rhizobium bacteria, leguminous plants. Wonderful. Yes. So we know that leguminous plants such as peas and beans plant have the ability to take up nitrogen from the surrounding or the atmosphere. Because you know that in the air that is there around us, right? 78% of the air that is there is filled with nitrogen. And despite that, sadly, the plants cannot use it directly from the air, right? Which is why plants such as leguminous plants have certain bacteria in their root nodules known as rhizobium. And what this rhizobium will do? Rhizobium will convert atmospheric nitrogen into what? Into some soluble forms so that the plant can absorb it. So if this yellow things I'm drawing is the soluble nitrogen, once it is there or in the nitrogenous form, it will be able to absorb, or the roots will be able to absorb it. So I'll not say soluble nitrogen, that's wrong actually. So let's say soluble forms of nitrogen. Okay, so let me write it that way. So this is what they are going to do. Very good, Pooja. It is known as nitrate. Since Pooja has told us, let us write it down on the screen. Yes, plants cannot take it up, which is why it's from the form of ammonia. Okay, very interesting, Shweta. Yes. You saw a tree with pink leaves. Anukriti, that's a very interesting thing. That's very interesting. Tell me more about it. So in the chat session, I hope you know, Anukriti, in the comment section, you can tell me more about this, right? Okay, all right. So now that we have learnt about this and we know this, not all plants have this ability, right? Only these, leguminous plants are there. What if there comes a point when, say, the farmer, or maybe there is no leguminous plants available whatsoever? Then what will we do to make sure that the plants we are growing at home gets nitrogen? Well, that is where the last part of it comes, right? That is fertilizers and manure. Yes. So we see that fertilizers and manures are some extra supplements, right? Or another easy way of saying is something that we give from our end extra to the soil so that our plants can grow. Yes. All right. So now in this case, if you see, fertilizers are nothing but some artificial chemicals, right? Which means these are produced inside the factories so that we can give N, P and K. That is nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, right? Yes, all right. Okay. So now in this case, if you see, we have manure, which is not artificial, but rather it is organic, right? So what happens is that it is organic, it is obtained from dead and decaying matter, right? We process the dead and decaying matter and then we will use it as manure. Yes, very good, Anukriti. Fertilizers are not eco-friendly. Very good. Fertilizers are organic salts. I will rephrase that into fertilizers are inorganic salts. Yes, fertilizers are rich in specific nutrients. Very good. Very good, Shrishti. They are man-made. Very good. Yes, all right. Okay. Ankita ma'am loves drawing more than you. Actually, both of us love drawing equally. I also love drawing. But yeah, she also likes drawing. Yes, all right. Okay, manure is made from rotten fruits and vegetables. Very good, Shreyasi. Very good. Yes? All right. Okay. So now with this, we've understood that manures and fertilizers can also be provided to replenish or to bring back the nitrogen that the soil requires. And earlier, Shrishti, you had asked me to explain how the nutrients deplete from the soil, right? So let's say this is my farm. I am a farmer and I am growing many plants, right? And I keep growing the same plants over and over again for many years together. What eventually happens is that the soil that is there will no longer have the enough amount of nitrogen for the plants to grow, right? Which is what will lead to nitrogen deficiency. So this is what we mean by natural depletion, right? I am not doing anything specifically to go and make sure that nitrogen is not there. But naturally, over the course of time, it is no longer there, right? So that is what we mean by it. I hope I have clarified all of your doubts. Yes? So very quickly, right? Very quickly, I have a question for you. And I want you to identify the odd one out. Manure, fertilizer, leguminous plants, and pitcher plant. So can you tell me which is the odd one out in the chat box? Yes, easy peasy, ice cream creamy. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, then I can see the answers coming, and a lot of you, actually most of you are telling me pitcher plant. Now, can you tell me why you're telling me the odd one out is pitcher plant? Very quickly, I need the reason behind why pitcher plant would be the odd one out. Let's see how many of you remember this. It's a very important concept that we learnt about, right? Yes, very good, very good. So why is pitcher plant the odd one out? All right, that's very interesting, Ayushi. I will definitely go have a look at it. Yes? Because pitcher plant is a plant while the others are a kind, okay? Pitcher plant is a parasite. Is pitcher plant a parasite, or will we say it is insectivorous? Yes, very good. It is insectivorous. Very good. It's a partially heterotrophic plant. Don't say it is a heterotrophic plant. Let's rephrase it to partially heterotrophic. Yes, very good, Anik. Very good, Hari. They get nitrogen from insects. Or another way of saying it is, this pitcher plant grows in nitrogen. So I'm going to write this down for those of you who are slightly confused. So they grow in nitrogen deficient soil, right? So we know that nitrogen is essential for the plants, and we learnt about how we can replenish the nitrogen also. But sadly, because the pitcher plants are found in places where there's not enough nitrogen, they have grown over a period of time to adapt themselves, and they get the nitrogen from the insects, like how most of you have told me. What are leguminous plants? Leguminous plants are nothing but those plants which have the ability to fix the, or which have, you know, the ability to fix nitrogen because of the rhizobium that is there in the root nodules. But the reason why we call them as leguminous is because of the fruit that they bear. So we see that the fruit will look something like this, which is called as a legume. So since the name of it is called as a legume, right? It's a type of fruit. It's not the name of the fruit. Don't get confused. But since a type of fruit is called as legume, we call it as leguminous plants. Yes? Animals, not insects. Yes, we can say that they are partial autotrophs. We can, Ananya. We can do that. You have seen a pitcher plant. That is amazing. Amazing, Ranjana. Yes? All right. So I hope I've clarified your doubt, Ananya. Yes? All right. Okay. So now, as most of you have told me, the correct answer is option D. And with this, we come to the end of today's class. Today's class was a very simple class, but now you have gotten an understanding of how important elements are for plants, right? How there are so many elements, why nitrogen is important, how nitrogen deficiency can take place, and how we can replenish it. Yes? All right. So I hope that with this, all of your doubts are clear, right? And I have one last question, which I cannot, I saw it and I really have to, tell you this. So Vrinda, autotrophs are nothing but those kinds of organisms which can prepare their own food. Yes. All right. Okay. So very quickly, I have a question for you, and this again is a slightly tricky question like the last time, right? So nitrogen is an essential nutrient for plant growth. But farmers who cultivate pulse crops such as green gram, Bengal gram, black gram, they do not apply nitrogenous fertilizers. Why? So very quickly in the chat box or in the comment section, let me know. And very soon I will be discussing the answer for this. because tomorrow I will be coming live at 5 p.m. with the mind map session for nutrition in plants, and this will be the easiest mind map that you will be making, and we are going to, of course, have a lot of fun together. So make sure that you do drop in the answers in the comment section, right? Now, of course, if you do want to explore more in the BYJU'S app and you want to get more of an understanding into each of these concepts, you can, of course, apply for the BYJU'S online tuitions where you can have a detailed understanding, and this is just a small snip into the details of it, right? Now, because you know that this particular channel has always got you covered no matter what, right? And of course, to show your love to us, make sure that you like this video, you share it with your friends, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to send me the answers in the comment section. And we, of course, have some free trial classes for you in the description box. Thank you so much for being a part of today's class. Yes, thank you so much, Santoshi. And of course, again, if you have any feedback, right, say you like this class, in the comments, you can also tell us what you liked about this class, what you would want from us. You can drop in all those comments so that we will also know what you want, right? Yes, all right. Bye, everybody. Bye, Pramukta. Bye, Anita. Bye, Defina. Bye, Shrishti. Yes, bye, Sneha. Hurry, I have given the homework. Just go back a little and watch the video. You will be able to get it. So, Anukriti, we already had a mentee quiz on this session, but let's hopefully have it very soon. Let's think about it, okay? All right. Hoping to see you very, very soon again. Bye-bye and have a nice day.